Afternoon everyone, hope you're going well. End of the week again, Friday bear with me, 28th. Won't be long, we're under 4 weeks and Sandra will be here, so get your present list organised if you haven't done already. Still harvesting canola. Tony and Lily are on that job. I've just been in the office doing a couple of things, catching up on a bit of stuff in there. I've been to town. I had to get a joiner. If you watched the last one, I was ripping that pipe in for the water for the feedlot, so I didn't have any joiners for whatever reason, so I got that done, and I am actually now in the bucket, tractor and bucket. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring a bit of clay in and try and build some pads up. So I want to sort of put a 100 mil pad in the middle where we're going to put the feeders, and then and then we'll put a bit of rock base down or something, just to get them up off the ground a bit. Just so you know, if we get wet weather or something like that, they do drain. So just sneaking along the edge here. I don't have a lot of bloody room here. I thought I might have had a bit more, but I don't. So anyway, that's all right. I've got, and I don't know how I'm going to go when I get down there. I've got an area down here that's, we've got a bit of clay. It's sort of a dead area at the end of the rice. What I am going to do is, we've got this track that we've been going down to for the rice is as rough as guts. I'm actually going to rip it and level it off. So just bear with me. Fill that one up. So that's the plan. So it's about 2 o'clock, so the day's sort of slipping away. They are talking rain. I don't think we'll get the canola finished. I don't know whether we'll bother shifting to try and get any wheat stripped. So we'll just see what the guys want to do. I don't think they're talking a heap, 10 or 15 mil, something like that at the most. Miranda came this morning. I'll spin you around. Rice is looking really good. We're sort of a bit amazed. We've still got plants coming up from, when we flushed the other day. So they've been in the ground since the 20th of October. So they've basically been in the ground 4 weeks or more, and we've still got, plants popping through. So pretty happy with the plant numbers now. It's even improved since I've looked at it the last couple of days. So the plan is we'll top dress it next week, looking at probably 350 kilos of urea, just to try and get it to tiller. I'll get more tillers on the plant, and then we'll go to permanent water. So it's all sort of happening now. I don't know, you probably can't see past that post. Anyway, we don't have a lot of room here between the rice bank and the fence. So anyway, it is what it is. We'll be right. Got quite a rough spot here, and it gets wet. And if I've got any clay left over, I might carry a bit, bring a bit in, and try and build it up a little bit. Anyway, I'll show you what we're going to do when we get down here and how we're going to attack. I'll just show you before I attack it. So we've got this area between the rice ground and the fence here. There's a drain here, so I've got effectively there's a bit of a bank here from when the drain got sort of dug. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and I probably won't need all that dirt, but I'm going to pinch it all, and when we get down a bit, I might put a bit of fall on it back this way so it runs down that way to the dam. So it's sort of drain that comes, it walks the pivot, walks through it in the other paddock there. So I think it'll be all right, but it's sort of not getting used for anything else, so we might as well make it, clean it up a bit, and so we can drive them that long here, or just so we might even go down a bit, so we've got a little bit of storage or something perhaps. So we'll see how we go when we get into it. So this is what we're doing. It's a bit tricky because we've got posts either end of it, so I'm sort of going to do a 3-point turn to get in there because we are long enough actually. So I've just basically bring a bucket full in. I've got fall back this way. Yeah, so it's going to work all right actually. So yeah, just basically a bucket full per feeder, or per where feeders is going to go. So I've already done the first one, and then what I'll do, whether we get the guys in when we put the rock down or whatever, whether we get them to with a bobcat would probably be the go, and just tidy it up, so you got sort of pile at the end here, and that we'll just spread it around a little bit. And yeah, I think I've sort of got, there'd be 100 mil there, I suppose. I am just playing with the levels because we've got fall from that end to this end. Yeah, I am just playing around with the height in the GPS. So, but yeah, I think it's going to work pretty well actually. Yeah. Now I've ripped that other stuff again. It was probably a bit cloddy the first one, but I just did rip it again, and it's got it fine. And then you sort of drive over it a couple of times with the tractor. It's not too bad, but yeah, it'd be good if that end post wasn't there and you could get a bit better crack at it. But you just, yeah, as I said, got to do a 3.2 to get in there. So anyway, it's going to work. That's the main thing. So we've got, what do we got? Let's have another 3 to do, I think. 2 more to do. So we're nearly done. So, yeah, not a big contract this one, but yeah, we've got a fair bit to do coming up with the bucket. As you well know, those of you who've been watching along. So yeah, it'll be good to sort of get my head around it. I have spoken to the surveyor. I think I did mention, we still got a little bit of dirt in there. I have spoken to the surveyor about looking at the plan and then getting the file converted so we can feed it into the GPS. But yeah, once we get that canola harvested, I don't know what we'll do, whether we mulch it and get it on the ground, or yeah, so we can sort of get something done with it, so we can start to knock it into shape. Yeah. Anyway, so here we go. But, where are we here? So boots off in the bucket too. Take the boots off. Got to keep the cabin clean. So. Right, we'll get this done, and what are we? We're 4 o'clock, so another hour will nearly be knock-off time, and the guys will nearly be finished with the header anyway. We might even, cloud is starting to build, we might even bring the header home and jam it in the shed for the night out of the weather. Probably be the go. So anyway, I'll give them a call on the radio and see how they're tracking. Back in the shed, so yeah, I meant to turn the camera on when I was putting the second one down, the last one down, I forgot all about it. So I think the guys are about finished the canola, so slip over and open a few gates for them, bring the header home and stick it in the shed there overnight, and yeah, have an early knock off for Friday arvo. Canola's all done.
Got it.
So I think this paddock's only done about, it's probably done about 1.3, something like that. We'll open that up. Yeah, anyway. There'll be a truckload here we'll take in at some stage. So we're going to take the header home and chuck it in the shed just with this weather coming. So yeah, we'll see what it all looks like in the morning. And well, yeah, way they're not talking a heap of rain, but talking supposed to rain for a couple of days, just 5 and so mil. So, but yeah, I think the receivals, I could run that truck in and off. I think the receivals are, yeah, knocking off early anyway. So Lily's over there. She's just heading for home. I'll go in front of her and open and close the gates for her, and run her back to a car. Slowly took them all off the leash. It's pain in the bum in the weather, because we would have been probably finished our own by Sunday. So a couple of days we'd have our own finished. Morning. So we've jumped forward a few days from the start of this one. It's now Sunday. I think we started on Friday. So 5 mil of rain yesterday, or sort of Friday night. So we got the canola finished up. Lily and Tony got it wrapped up, which was good. It's sort of about 5:30 Friday arvo. So we just sort of parked the header in the shed and knocked off. So didn't do it. Then it sort of came in and rained Friday night, Saturday morning, and it was sort of clear yesterday. But it sort of looks like it's going to rain again now. It's pretty cold. You might have picked that up, judging given I've got a jumper on. So there might not be too much harvesting done today. I'm just heading to toke them all in the truck. There's probably, I don't think there'll be 40 tonne of canola left. So I've got a load on now, and there might be 10 tonne left in the mother bin. So rather than getting Kev to come out with half a load and picking up, half a load or 2/3 of a load, I just thought I'd run it out there myself. So I don't have Tony and Liliana on deck today yet. I might speak, just see what the weather does, I might speak to Tony later on. We've taken Sarah and I moved the header out the other farm and moved the tractor and chaser bin out there. I was going to strip a sample of wheat, so basically, do a run with the header and take a sample, bring a sample with me to toke them all, but given how cold it is, I don't think the moisture should be right anyway. So when I go back, I'll see what the weather's doing. When I go back to the second load, I might go out and strip a sample and take that with me to toke, and then we've got a bit of an idea of what's going on. So, about 30 minutes to toke them all from home, I suppose. So it's not a bad little trek. But no other sort of headers going around the place. I was sort of talking to a neighbour there before, and he was thinking maybe after lunch. So, but it's going to be pretty cold, sort of crappy sort of a week. I think they've got rain again tomorrow, not a lot, but it's low 20s, and I think we're nearly the first day of summer or very close to it. So might be 1st December tomorrow, I think. So anyway, it is what it is. But we'll wander across here, and hopefully there's nothing to tell me they're not open. So they were going to be open at 10 o'clock this morning, and it's 10:30 now. So fingers crossed we can get tipped off and get home and get loaded again, and then we might be able to get the mother bin shifted at the very least anyway. So we've just rolled into Green Coop in Tokemall. I've tested and weighed. So I've got one truck in front of me. A little bit of grain starting to get in here. So we'll have to wait a sec to tip off, and then we weigh off again, and then that determines. I think we were about 42, a bit over 42 tonne. So we'll have about 25 on board, I thought, very close to it. Pretty quiet in here. Usually there's a few more trucks getting around, but just with the wet day yesterday, everyone's probably a bit like us. So a couple of small piles of wheat starting to appear. But the bunkers have just got a gravel floor and then a concrete wall around them. They put a floor tarp down, and then they just tarp them over the top then. Old mate here that's running the bunker attendant, or whatever you want to call him, bunker rat. He's just signed the clipboard, so I get a clipboard here, and it basically tells you everything: moisture, protein, oil. The oil is down a bit. We need to be 42%, but anyway, it is what it is. Impurities is sort of how much chaff and that it's got in it. So, and then the girl in the weighbridge just wrote on the weight there, so this goes up the elevator, and they just walk the elevator along as they build the stack. So yeah, not a lot of fun. So actually going to move the stacker, so we're just going to have to wait a bit. That won't matter. Yeah, they're just gonna, it's all hydraulically driven. They'll just lift it up and walk it along. Yeah, so hopefully won't take too long. So they're actually going to let us tip on the floor, which will be good. Just speed the job up a bit. All done. So that was much quicker. They have installed a way on, way off bridge here, but they're not using it today. Just with there's a few trucks starting to roll in now, but yeah, this is only new, this second way bridge, so it just speeds the job up when there's a lot of trucks in here. You sort of got to take it in turns as to weighing, whereas yeah, having a second bridge now speeds that job up because the trucks that are empty aren't queuing with trucks that are loaded to weigh off. So yeah. Anyway, we'll duck home, we'll get this other load. We'll load anyway and just see what the weather's doing. We'll go and strip a sample, and if it's okay, and we'll bring a sample of wheat back over while we're going, and yeah, then we can see where the wheat's up to. Morning. So it's been a few days since the start of this one, and it's been a couple of days since we took a load of canola to Tokemall to the receival. So the weather's just been terrible, really. Not a lot of rain, but pretty cold, and yeah, just skiffy showers and that yesterday, and the wind is horrendous. But today we have blue skies. So I'm heading out the back, got the baler on board, going to go out and see whether we can start and get some of this straw in a bale, or barley header tailings, just depending on what the moisture's doing. Lily's on deck. She was crook yesterday with a dose of food poisoning, by the sounds of it, which isn't ideal. Tony's just doing a couple of jobs at the shed. We're going to go to take the rice to permanent water, or what we call permanent water, on Thursday. Today's Tuesday. Sorry, I've just lost my telephone here. So what we're going to have to do is, we've got the big tractor on the chaser bin, so come tomorrow afternoon probably we'll take it off, and we'll put the baby fent on the chaser bin, and then we can put the spreader on the big tractor. And we've got to put a bit of urea out before we put the water on full time on the rice. So it's really got going. It's it's been good since we did that third flush, and it's been surprising. I think I did mention how many seedlings have still come up. So pretty happy there. We've got a patch of weeds there, a couple of 2 or 3 bays, which I think we have spoken about in the past. We're going to probably try and get a drone in about a fortnight just to spray those 3 bays. Once it goes to water, we can't obviously drive in there with a tractor or boom spray. So, and we don't need to spray the whole block. So I need to chase that up. But hopefully today we can get the header going again. That's the plan. We'll strip a sort of harvest a sample about lunchtime or something, or first thing after lunch, and fingers crossed. I think moisture should be okay. It'll just be, given it's so cold, getting the stuff to go through the header. So anyway, but we've got the header shifted in the mother bin. Tony and I did that yesterday, and everything's ready to go. Everything's out the back there. We just need the weather to play the game. So the next 10 days looks pretty clear. I've got a jumper on today. They're talking 36 degrees by the end of the week. So we've had the heater on in the house again. And I think yesterday I was looking, I think they were tops of 42 and 3 in Western Australia, and we had snow on the Alps here on our side of the country. So the weather's a bit crazy at the moment. It doesn't know what it wants to do. So anywho, we'll get round here and get a couple out and see what the moisture's like. Well, I fast forward a couple of hours. It's lunchtime. I knocked out 100 bales in pretty quick succession. Just did the headland, and I've started to come over the hill there. Had to go to town. I had an appointment in town, so I have stripped a sample of wheat, which I've got here in the ute.
I'm just going to run it to town now and just see. Got my little sample bucket there. It actually doesn't look too bad, even for screenings and that sort of stuff. So for grain size, so moisture might be our only kicker. It is. It's taking a bit of thrashing to get the seed to come out of the grain to come out of the head. So we'll see how we go. If it's going to go, yeah, obviously we'll come back and get into it. Yeah, so we'll just see. I think Lily and Tony, they're going to come out and start and stack these up, bring the trailer out and start and stack them up. We can get them in off the paddock straight away. I do have, I think I mentioned, Jamie's going to come down and grab some straight at the paddock, so I need to message him and tell him we've started to get them in a bale so we can get down and grab them, and it'll save us carting them off the paddock. Results are in, so our moisture's 12.5, so we're right on the limit with the moisture, so we might go home and have some lunch and come back, I reckon. Protein's 10.2, so our protein's a bit low, but our screenings are really good. We're sort of 0.9%, and also what is good is our test weight, so our test weight's 82, so I think that will make us ASW. I think that stands for Australian Standard Weight, I think. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, yeah, so we just, moisture's our only one that's hanging a bit, and that's going to be a pain in the backside because the dual moisture will come back up tonight as it, the sun goes down, and then it'll be a late start in the morning. So anyway, we'll give it an hour, and then we'll have a go at it. Harvesting, so we're into the wheat. We've got 45 hectares in this paddock. The variety is Kingston. We are still having a bit of dramas just with those little unthrashed pipe bits of the head that it hasn't knocked the seed out. And part of the trouble is it's so cold, like it's only about 22 or 3 degrees. And yeah, we probably, if we were fair income, I probably should go home and get some different concaves and just change the number 2 module, just put a smaller one in there, and that would just help knock that seed out of the head. So we've got the machine wound up pretty tight. Got the gap between the concave and the rotors not closed right up, but it's pretty close. The rotor's doing 1,000 revs, so it's, you can really hear when it gets up that high. You really get a drone, a woo woo woo, out of the machine all the time. So is what it is. So, and then sieves, I've got them closed up. They're the fingers at the back that work the straw to the back of the machine, and the grain falls through them. So I've got them closed up within reason. So something I want to show you, and it's we've been sort of offered to try this. So one ag in Moala, who's our local Trimble dealership that we have a lot to do with. Jeremy actually did back many moons ago, he did a farm apprenticeship with us. Did his Cert 3 and 4 in ag as a young fella, and then I've spoken about him before, and then we sort of pushed him. He was too clever to be a farm hand, so we pushed him onto bigger and better things. So yeah, one ag in Moala. So what and this system's been running on a class harvester, I think an 87 or 8800, up in northern New South Wales or southern Queensland somewhere. So what we've got is, and it may not looks like a pretty picture, sorry. So what that actually is a couple of thermal cameras, and what it's we just change the view. So that's the engine bay. We'll change that one while we're going. So that's the engine bay. So that's the side of the engine. That's the turbocharger on the motor, and then we've got the chopper bearing on the right-hand side of the machine. So there's not a lot of areas on these case headers where bearings and that things can get hot. So we've sort of picked those two out as where you would have them. But what we do, if we just change the little bit fiddly, but so this
this is just a prototype type thing, and basically it's just to help, you know, identify hot spots, whether you've got a hot bearing or something like that. So for instance, like our turbocharger is running at nearly 180 degrees, and it must keep, they're chasing feedback on it, so that's why they're sort of putting it in a few different machines just to get a bit of a feel for it, before it hopefully they might commercialise it. It would go on any, like this is just the tablet it's come with, so it could go on a, you know, potentially an iPad, or, you know, I even said to Jeremy, like I said to the boys that came out and fitted it, you know, you could potentially have it, you know, maybe feeding it into the 2050 screen. Anyway, so it's basically scanning, from what I can gather. It's got a cross here, you can possibly see. That one over there's a bit hard to see, but what it's doing, it's sort of scanning that area in the triangle for hot spots. So it basically settles on the hottest spot. You can see, you might be able to see that just flickering a little bit, and then it's given us a temperature scale up the side there. So we're currently at 178 degrees. I think the boys set it up at 200 degrees. I actually thought it might have ran hotter than that. So yeah, if it spikes above that 200 degrees, it'd sound an alarm. And the same with the one that's on the bearing. It's set at 90 degrees. So, you know, if it's running above that, we know you've obviously got an issue. But pretty cool tech, you know. Anyone with a header or a contractor or something like that, insurance is getting harder and harder to get on headers. So this is, you know, potentially a way where it might bring that, just add that little bit of, I don't know, peace of mind. I'm not too sure what the word is, but it might, you know, help with insurance premiums and that sort of stuff going forward. So can put multiple cameras on it. I think it was sort of originally designed for cotton pickers and that sort of stuff. They must get pretty hot at times. But yeah, we could add, you know, you could have from what I've sort of been told, you could have half a dozen cameras running at any one time. But so yeah, we'll have it for, you know, a week or 10 days. It's going to be 36 degrees at the end of the week, so it'll be interesting to see how things go. You know, we're not even half, we're running about where the engine temp usually runs, about a bit under half. It's, you know, we're 75% engine load, so just bear with me, just turning around here. Yeah, so with it heating up at the end of the week, it'll be interesting to see how those temperatures change, and just where they settle down at. But you know, yeah. So wheat crop, we're sitting around, I reckon it'll be around that 3.2 tonne to the hectare. Quality's okay. At the moment we're sort of around that 30 tonne an hour, I suppose. We're not breaking any land speed records. So Tony's here on the bin, Lily's just stacking a bit of straw up. I might get Lily in here and just give her a run with the big front on, which she hasn't done. See how she goes with it. But so we've got about 75 hectares of wheat left to do, and then we've sort of got all our, and apart from a few oats, which we'll come back and clean up later on, that'll be our harvest done for 2025. So we're sort of on the contracting trail. I'm tossing up whether to get a mate to pick some canola up for us. Just we've got a bit of canola in, or not a lot, 150 hectares roughly in front of us to be picked up. So so it's hard to, the joys of contracting, it's hard to be in two spots at once. So anyway, we'll keep marching here for a while, but yeah, that's it's pretty cool technology really. So hopefully going forward it might be, you know, a bit of a game changer with you know, machine monitoring and that sort of thing. as suspected. The moisture is starting to climb up a bit as the sun's going down. We do have the mother bin full, so Kev's taken one load. He's talking on the two-way, then he's on his way back. Crop has probably got a bit better as it's come up the hill. Yeah, we're sort of around that high 3s, 4 tonnes, so there's nothing wrong with that given the season. Still been watching this stuff. It's pretty cool. The turbo temperature, it's sort of settled at around that 179 degrees, but it's interesting watching and whether it's the ambient temperature outside. Obviously it's cooled down as the sun's gone down, but we've dropped from, well, we're back to about 47 degrees. I can't remember what we were before. I think we were 53 or 60 or something like that. So whether that's just got, I don't actually know how far away the camera is from that bearing, but yeah, it is actually cooling down. So I'd say it's probably getting a bit of the outside temperature as well. But because that's in the engine bay and just where it is, it's yeah, it's running pretty constant. So yeah, but no, still getting the hang of it. It's pretty cool bit of tech actually. It's yeah, especially I sort of have put it up on the socials, and yeah, a few comments about header insurance and that sort of stuff, which I think I mentioned. You know, if it was, you know, meant that you had to run that sort of stuff, even if it was a couple of grand or something, and it just helped with insurance premiums, it might very well worth looking at. So anyway, we'll turn around the end here and we'll get down the other end, and that might nearly be it for today. Last run, so we've done pretty well actually. Well, done really well. I sort of wasn't expecting to get this far this afternoon, but yeah, we're going rocking along pretty well, which is good. Yeah, our temperature, we're sort of back, you know, we're back to 43. We're sort of, yeah, back another sort of 3 or 4 degrees. So yeah, it's pretty interesting just to keep an eye on it. So yeah, anyway, so no, tomorrow we'll, you know, we'll all bar finish harvest apart from those oats as I mentioned. So yeah, we'll get finished and all going well, barring a breakdown or something silly like that, we'll get finished and yeah, get in back on the canola job, sort of our first contracting job. So I was thinking about getting a mate to sort of go and do the job in at Baruga for us, but given what we finished, we're sort of going to be a day ahead of ourselves, or a day and a half ahead of ourselves, which is good. So and yeah, this stuff it's done, you know, it's going to come out about 3.5 tonne to the hectare, so there's nothing wrong with that, and the quality's pretty good. So yeah, just lacking a little bit of protein, but yeah, screenings and grain weight are good as I mentioned. So all right, so apologies for this one. It's over about 4 or 5 days. It's just the way the weather was. So yeah, hopefully we can string them together a bit more regularly now. So now that we're back into the swing of things, in the next sort of week or 10 days looks pretty fine. So, all right. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.